Hello everyone. The purpose of my talk today is to clarify the concepts of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. After my last presentation, my Cuban cousins called me up and they said, "Do you think I'm taking bioidentical hormone replacement therapy?" And it became quite clear to me that I needed to make clear to people what this really means. So I want to talk about estradiol, which is a hormone that is identical to your body. So estradiol patches, estradiol creams, those are all bioidentical and they are FDA approved. Micronized progesterone is also a natural progesterone. It's the same that your body makes, so it is bioidentical. Micronized progesterone or natural progesterone is available as an FDA preparation, but it's made with peanut oil. So if you have a peanut allergy, you have to use micronized progesterone made from a compounding pharmacy that does not use peanut oil as part of the preparation of the tablet. So I want to talk about non-bioidentical estrogens, and this is Premarin, or that's a conjugated estrogen that comes from pregnant mares. It is not identical to the estrogen that your body makes and has been used for a very long time for women. Also, for women that have uterus and they're using hormone replacement therapy with estradiol, we have to use a progesterone to protect the uterus from prevent the endometrial lining from becoming enlarged and then transform itself into cancer. So we must use progesterone. However, natural progesterone, as I talked about, is safe for the body because it's what your body makes. Progestins, such as Provera or Augestin, which have been the classic synthesized progestins that have been used for many years, particularly in the studies that made women be so fearful about hormone replacement therapy. So these progestins are not bioidentical, and a huge amount of literature, both European literature and in other places, shows that when you combine estrogen with a non-bioidentical progestin, you actually increase the risk of breast cancer. And that perhaps may be why it was that there was such a higher rate of breast cancer with the use of progestins on board. When you use natural progesterone, you do not have this risk. I wanted to talk to you also about the fear that women have about using hormone replacement therapy. Unfortunately, when the Women's Health Initiative study was published with thousands of women, they were using non-bioidentical hormones in older women who already had coronary heart disease or heart disease. The purpose was to see whether you could prevent these women from having heart disease. These women had not received any hormones for 10 years, and now we know that there's a window within which you should receive hormone replacement therapy, and that's immediately after your menopause. If you wait 5 to 10 years after that and you introduce hormone replacement therapy, it is toxic for you. But I want to talk a little bit about why the Women's Health Initiative was so destructive to women. After this study, which was published in older women, in which it was found that there was a higher risk of breast cancer when you gave women this combination with the progestin, also it was found that women could have a higher risk of stroke. And the reason why women have a higher risk of stroke is when you take estrogen as a pill, whether it is Premarin or estradiol or a birth control pill, it goes through the metabolism of the liver. And that increases proteins and metabolizes the way that your proteins are in the body, so that it makes your body be more coagulable. And this is particularly true for women that have thrombophilias. For example, women that have factor V deficiency, antithrombin 3, factor 5, as I mentioned, protein C, protein S. So women that have underlying clotting factors or tendencies for clotting will be at higher risk of taking estrogens orally. So I want to talk about the fact that after this study was published, doctors stopped prescribing hormone replacement therapy, and they stopped teaching their students how to prescribe hormone replacement therapy. And as a result, a whole generation of women was really affected by not receiving hormone replacement therapy after menopause. They had a higher risk of diabetes, a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, and of course, without estrogen, you also have a higher risk of Alzheimer's disease and osteoporosis and fractures. So, on the balance of how we women die, we're more likely to die because of heart disease or a fracture from osteoporosis or Alzheimer's disease or complications from diabetes and weight gain. All of these things and the activation of these things can be altered and prevented with a good lifestyle, with good diet, exercise, good sleep, and appropriate initiation of bioidentical hormones early in the course of the loss of natural hormones at the time of our menopause. I hope this helps you to clarify what is a bioidentical hormone and what is not. And lastly, I want to comment on the fact that women that have BRCA mutations, that's the breast cancer gene mutation, are at higher risk for breast cancer. And if we think that 13% of all of us women are likely to have breast cancer in our lifetime, women that have this mutation have a much higher risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. The reason for this is that the breast cancer genes are actually tumor suppressor genes. We all have a healthy BRCA1, BRCA2 genes. And when one of them is mutated, then the person loses the ability to suppress DNA damage that naturally happens in all of us all the time. So that's why women with BRCA mutations are at much higher risk of breast cancer, and why I would recommend for them that they be very mindful about assessing their family risk, finding out, was there prostate cancer in the family? Was there pancreatic cancer in the family? These are associated risks. Was there breast cancer at an early age? If there is that risk, you should be tested to see whether you're at higher risk of these mutations, because in that case, I would caution you against using hormone replacement therapy, or if I did it, I would do it very carefully after I have treatment for my gene mutation, which might mean that you have bilateral mastectomies, and that you have your ovarians, your fallopian tubes and ovaries removed. In which case, then I might feel more comfortable with giving you hormone replacement therapy, and certainly testosterone replacement would be good for you, because testosterone prevents breast cancer. So that's what I want to say right now about hormone replacement therapy. Have a wonderful day.